When you first put the key in the ignition, turn it on, all the lights light up, and then go out, and you've got a flashing car symbol with a little key in it. Or you've got a little curly wire light flashing at you. Both may be easily fixed. When I got in the car the other day, a small flashing orange car symbol appeared on the dashboard with a little key in it. When I tried to start the engine, it would momentarily start and then cut out. So I turned it off again, tried to start it again. The same thing happened. A quick look in the owner's manual, and this is the immobiliser symbol, which won't let the car start unless the code in the key marries up to the code that's registered in the car. But don't panic, it may not actually be the immobiliser system anyway, as these cars have a habit of flashing up the light that doesn't correspond to the actual fault, and the only way to really check it is through the OBD2 port using the main dealer software, or quite typically VCDS, formerly VAGCOM, which will tell you exactly what the fault is. But if you haven't got access to these programs, you could try the cheap fix of replacing the brake pedal switch, which is a common problem with these cars and only costs about 10 or 15 quid. So if you've got this fault appearing on your dashboard, get somebody to check the rear brake light operation, and you may find they're doing strange things, such as the main lights act as a brake light, or a brake light doesn't come on at all. Or more typically, the brake light stays on permanently and sometimes can't even be turned off even with a key taken out of the ignition, in which case you have to disconnect the battery. This last fault is more associated with a flashing glow plug light on your dashboard, which, as you've guessed it, is nothing to do with the glow plugs but the actual brake light switch. So these are two occurrences that often can be fixed by replacing the switch itself. First thing you want to do is disconnect the battery. Then take out this cover on the top of the steering column just underneath the instrument cluster just by pulling back, which then gives you access to a T20 screw just here. Take that out with a long extension through the steering wheel. Then you want to take the lower right dash cover out, and if you want further details on how to do this, check out my other video. I'll leave a link in the description and at the end of the video. Remove the front light switch by depressing, turn into the side light position and then pulling back. Then disconnect the connectors off the back by squeezing together the tags. Take off the side fuse cover. There's a little hole at the bottom you can get your key in. Pull out and forwards. Then take out the remaining 5 T20 screws. Jiggle the cover free and lower down. Take off the cubbyhole vent pipe and disconnect the OBD2 port and remove the cover to one side. Here's the brake pedal switch just at the top of the brake pedal. And to take the electrical connection off, just squeeze together the two little tags and it will just pull out. Then to take the switch out itself, you want to hold the body of the switch on this model and then turn it to the left slightly. It will make a little click sound as you turn it and then pull backwards. If I put the switch and the mounting bracket side by side, you can see how it fits in, with the pointy bit at the top and the electrical connector slightly to one side, which is the position it needs to be in when you fit in a new one. First pull the centre pin out, which then self-adjusts when you fit it. Make sure it's firmly up against the shoulder and then turn to the right until it clicks into place, with the electrical connector vertical. After fitting a couple of cheap aftermarket versions of these, I found them to be made of quite soft ABS plastic, which I found was just too squishy for the locking mechanism, which was easily damaged, or even one case broke off completely. So I would only recommend an original manufacturer's version of these. Or you could fit, which is what I eventually did, is the upgraded version of these, which seems to be a much better design. Here's a switch, which is a much bigger design altogether, and does away with the centre part rotating separately, which now seems to be incorporated internally, and the pin not needing to initially be pulled out. You can of course repair the switch by cleaning and tightening up the contacts, which easily slide out from the switch moulding, which can work for a temporary fix if that's the route you want to go down. But it's preferable to buy a new switch, and is the most cost effective, considering the fault codes that give rise to dashboard lights that can not only fail an MOT but immobilise your vehicle, let alone the dangers you could be causing to other road users when your brake lights don't work. So any fix that you make needs to take account of the potential risks and danger posed to others. Here's the two switches, with the originally fitted one on the left and the new larger revised one on the right, and I'll leave the part numbers for these in the description. Fitting the new switch is much like the older one, except for you don't have to hold the centre, you can just hold the body itself. Slot it back in with it slightly to the left in the 5 to 12 position. Make sure it's seated down onto the shoulder, turn it into the 12 o'clock position and it will click into place. Push the electrical connector back in until that clicks as well. Push down on the pedal a few times to make sure it's working with the plunger. Reconnect the battery. Don't forget to recode your stereo unit. Then put the key back in ignition and then test it's operating fully and functioning correctly. Hopefully clearing the faults with no dashboard lights. If you've still got flashing lights on your dashboard, then further investigation is needed. But at least you can eliminate the brake switch for a small amount of effort and money. And there we are guys, thank you for watching. I hope this helped you out. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.